So fine. So we have a context so which we have created in our this class, and this context is the one which is key for everything. So for retrieving data, for inserting, for deleting, or take anything, this is a key. The same way how we have done for students, right? It is same for uh, even other tables. So let's get other tables because if you have seen, we have actually whenever we get students in, right, we also got students whatever data is linked with students, right? Like academic and other stuff, right? We actually got even those data. If there is any data in it, otherwise you will actually get null. That's what we're seeing. So let's see in other way. So let's get a list of academics. List of academics. What is academic? So now we have a context dot academics dot list. Right? So all it will do is it will actually take your class or table name, right? If your table name is student, right, it will actually use it as a or if your table name is students, it will create a class called student, right? And it will actually move. So it will actually prefix with ASL. These things will be taken care by. Now you have it here. So let's say we have an academic, or it has ACA. In OPJ. So here let's print CA dot. Now you can see you'll actually get everything. Whatever there will be getting. Now you can see when we have an academic, right, and you can see it will give us each academic detail and corresponding student also. So let's print this at least first. Let's print let's print the marks, and we'll actually check out in a quick watch what are the details we're actually getting. So let's run this program. So I think we put a breakpoint over here. Now here you can see I am about to read academics, and it is in default mode. So here you can see we have got academics here. Let's go to quick watch. You can see here in academics we have two records. So let me just open the table. You can see the two tables for two records for roll number 1 and 2. And you can see for roll number 1 we got the data, and roll number 2 we got the data. And corresponding to this roll number 1 we also got student details. So that's the reason why once you correct, whenever you are creating a schema, whenever you are creating an entity model, right? So always keep in mind that always check if you want to get even the relational data, right? Then you have to make sure that you are enabling your foreign key relations within, so that whenever our entity framework creates a model classes, then it makes sure that whatever relations are maintained in the database, right, will be retained here, so that it will help in this way. Whenever you install, whenever you retrieve something, everything whatever is there, whatever are wanted will be retrieved. Right? Same way it will be there for. So you can see two academics here. Same way, if you go ahead with the sports, right? I think in sports, do we have any data in here? We don't have any data, so let's write a simple query to insert it. Or rather, we will do one thing. So instead of inserting from here file, let's see how to insert data from here itself. So we can use our entity data model, right, for all operations. For all DML operations, we can use this for selection, insertion, deletion, updation, or anything. Right? So let's check out them for here. Now, first, let's check out how we can actually insert data in our main table. Right? Let's see how we can insert student data. So this insertion of data is again it's a very simple, but we have to be really careful when creating an object and using it. Right? So let's take the students table. Now you can see here that our students table we have 5 records now, right? So let's go back here. So here let's say so we are going to insert record in our students table, right? So let's take student class object. We call it as data student. Right, so this is my student class, and I will provide all the details here. Now, let me see for the student for whomsoever I want to add details, right? I'm going to add them. So first, let me add roll number 6. Then let's say student name. I want. Let me take subject. Also you can actually use, so you can actually give datetime.now. Now datetime.now is, datetime is a class here in direct system, right, where for datetime kind of operations, right, you'll be using this. So when you say datetime.now, so it will actually assign the current datetime and it will actually convert to yourself. So here, while inserting data, right, if you remember, we used to use in SQL we have something called getDate. Now getDate will get the system date and it will insert accordingly. Same way here, if you have a datetime.now, it will actually get the datetime of system datetime, current datetime, and it will assign it to data student. Now this is our students table. Right, so where you can see I have inserted roll number element. Now corresponding to student, we also have, let's say, academic list. Right, we have academic because for a student, obviously there will be academic. So we take data student, your academic, and you see here you have your roll number. Let's say it's 6. Right. Yes, the data student academic, let's say marks, some 6. Student taken, let's say, some 8. And is there anything else? You have roll number, marks, and students. That's it. But we have provided details for even our academics. Now let's go to sports. We have something called sports. You can see have a sport. Roll number A will be 6. So here we have. So here right. So here sport. So we have to give a sport by this. Here it has taken this because as the name of column is the same, right? So you can see inside sport it actually is sport 1. Go to class. Right? Now in here it is sport. Go to sport here. Now you can see roll number and sport. That's right. You can actually change this or retain this as is so that you can use it. Now here till now we have actually made our data ready. Right? Whatever data we want to insert, you see we have actually filled everything in our model class, right? Which contains its child, and if there are any hierarchy, we will also have those relations, right? Now, so now it's time to actually do the operation to insert. Now, in order to do that again, we have to go back to our context. The context is the one which will do all the data operations. So let's take the context, which is db context dot. So I want to add students object, right? Add a student. So I have data student. So this will make data db context think that okay, here some operation is going on, which is an add, which is an insert operation to students table. Right? Parallelly, what we have done, we have actually added given academics and sports because it's a relational, and it's a relational tables when compared to students. Now this will actually add, and if you want to actually update into database, then you have to make sure you're calling something called save changes. Now the save changes is like adding and committing the data into the database. Right? This will actually execute a command, insert, and then it will commit the data into the database. Okay? This is what happens. So let's run this program and see how it is going to work. Once it is done, then let's say here, so it's very important to handle it, exception handling first. First, let's do that. If there is an error, we can actually get it back to okay, let's say let's do something record and right, so we got actually got added into database and these things. Now let's see. You can see we got in here. Now, I hope if you can see here, you can understand why we actually got in there. So can you guess why we got this? Now here, now why we actually got this error is, if you can see this part, I was guessing that we will actually get this. So you have a student, right? and you have an academic class and sport class. Now if you can go back to this program, right, you can see I'm actually taking up academic directly and I'm not initializing this, right? So if I try to debug, let me show you how it works. Let me get it back. You can see still student have actually created my object, which is perfectly fine. Now if you see the academic right directly, now you can see academic object is null. And I'm trying to actually add something to null, which will not be accepted, right? So which means what I have to do, I have to create a separate class for academic, right? That we call as data academic is equal to academic here, and whatever we have done here, we have to add this. So which means let me add academic to this, right? And once you are done with that, then you can actually assign academic object to the data. It will now assign this academic here. Same way, let's take sport. So let me call this data sport. Right, so this data sport is ready. Then let me take data stool dot sport. Right. So here we have actually taken how the data sport will get. Now we have created a separate objects and then we have assigned it. So let's check this out. So let's see our student object created, and we created an academic object and we added it to academic. Now you can see here. As you go back to student, now you can see two things. One, all the details of student, and then you have academic, which is this, right? And same way you have student, sport. You can see it's not. So sometimes this may not. Let's go there. Let's see. When I run this program, it says right? Now, first let's get back to this, and you can see the record got added. Now your save changes. This is important. The save changes is the one which should actually commit. Let's get back to academics. You can see for 6 no academics got added. Get back to college sport. You can see for the roll number, right? A sport got added. Right. So this is how we normally insert data. Right. Now you can see that we haven't used any stored result, anything over here, but we were able to actually get the things done. Right. Now this is how that's the reason why, if you remember, we normally called entity framework as ORM framework, which is object relational management framework. Right. You can see everything we are working on in terms of objects. Each and every table, right, will be created as a separate entity model here, and for that model we will be creating an object, and we will be taking up data management through that. Right. So this is what we have in data retrieval and data insertion for our table. Now, in this situation, right, if you want to add data to a specific table also, you can go ahead. Now you can understand this. You can actually add data to a specific table, right? And also you can actually add data to the child tables if you want, right? Which are relational tables, which are completely connected with the parent. How it is connected? So until unless you have a roll number in student, let's say you're going to add a sport for roll number 7 student, but the roll number 7 student is not there in student, then it's going to be right. So that's how. Now let's check the next operation, which is update. Let's see how update works. We'll update one table rather. So let me comment this because I don't want to insert data again. Right? So while running program, I don't want to check this now. Now in .NET, right, you have got something called regions, right? Now regions are actually used to maintain your code. Now how to actually do that is, let's say we have something called hash region. Now this region will actually we can actually use this to maintain and modulate our code. Let's say this or insert operation activated, right? And what I'm going to do, I'll actually keep this part of code in here. Now, this region, right, it will actually make me model. If I minimize this, you can see it will actually give me a right way. Okay, I can actually modulate everything. So let's say this was my retrieval, right? So I can make it same. You can go to control KS, and my part of code is region. You'll get it directly. So always try to cultivate this. This is a very good, even one of the programming standard which you can use. Now here, let's say I'm getting data in select, right? Retrieve data, not select operation, right? And I'm going to take this region to right. See. Now inside the method itself, I'm actually making things very simple. So let's say this is a update data, right? So I'm gonna take region. Let's say this is something update operation. And now you can see things more. Now this is how you can actually modulate. Maintain your code that there'll be in real time. You have thousands of lines of your code. Then it's always better to create a separate region for method. Even this region is you can create region anywhere you want. Let's say you want to create it here, right? Let's say this is namespaces. So we normally do this. This is a very good practice to minimize this, right? And yes, you can do it for anything. You can do it for your class because you can create multiple classes as well, right? Everything you can actually keep it safe. So that whoever comes for maintenance, right, he knows, okay, namespaces are here. Go to program. Okay, so this is my main. Right? So in the main you have everything. Okay, this is select operation I have. Minimize. Insert operation I have. Minimize. So you can actually calculate this too. Okay, so let's see the update operation. So here for update operation, right? So what we'll be taking, we have to take the existing record, right? So let's say I'm going to update the first record of, let's say, this record, which means I've already retrieved the data which is in OBJ2, right? I can take this object And what I can do here is, let me take student object again. Let me say uh, uh, EPT student, which is updated student. Let's see, let me call OBJs to off. You can see it again creates a list, right? List I can take you better list of 0, which means it will give me the first record object, Sam and so on. Right? So this is my first record object which I have. Now here, what I'm going to do here is, I'll take this place to the, let me say, address. I want to change address of X, right? So let's say it's IND. Just say changing minus, right? So whenever I take the object from here, right, it is a reference type. So I'm actually taking the object first record of student, which means once if I do if I play with this record, right, if I do some operations, I do anything with this, then it's going to hit me back. Which means if I do any operation and do save changes to my context, then everything will be updated. Now here, just take your BB context now and say save changes. Right? If you do anything out here and do save changes, it's going to change. Right? Let's try console and so here you have an update as well. Now just run this and see what happens. So initially, let's see what is the value which we have online. Now you can see insert data anyways, you have skipped it, right? Because we don't want to insert data again. So here you can see update successful. Let's go back to database and see. Skip this, now you can see the address button. Right? So this is how you can actually use your update operation using model values. Also, if you want to update your academics, let's say, you can do that. Take an academic, let's call that simply academic. Now here, you have to take an academic here. Now, anyways, you have already called out academics, so I'm going to take this object. Let's say academic. Right? Now it all depends on like how best your logic you can write. Right? So here, let's say in my academics, I want to update marks. Right? Update academics marks is equal to, let's say it's 95, I can say. Right? And what I'm going to do, save changes for, okay, let's say 4. Start it out. Let's see what happens. So here, let me just call it as so and change. I'm going to change this again. Right? Clearly do this. So let's see how it works. Now update is successful. So first let's get back to this and execute. Now your address got changed. Come back to academics and change that marks got changed. Right? So in this way, you can do this. So here, this is an update operation which we have done, and yes, so this update, you can see I actually used a separate operation, right? You can see that I am creating a separate object here. Rather, what I can do here is, instead of doing academic update from here, what I can do next. So let's see how it works if I go ahead with this. Now I already have some academic, right? So for the first record which I had here, I already have academic. Now why don't I use this one to change? Let's say I'm gonna change the leaves. Right, leaves there are 12, right? So let me make it as 3. right? So instead of creating a separate operation for separating academic, I'm going to use a student directory, right? Where I already have the academic groups. So let's run this. You can see embed successful, so which means either way you can use. So here there won't be any change in your student records. Go and update. Now you see. Fine. So here the catch here is that you can actually go in any part you want, right? Because if you create one national, you can actually do this thing, do all these things at a time, right? And even for delete operation or anything, right, it happens in the same way, right? So even for the sport, anyways, you can see for sport, right, there is no data in sport for what I have data only for success. You can actually insert data specifically to sport. You can do that. And you have to make sure that whatever roll numbers we have here should be there. Right? So that's a catch. Now this is our update. So let's see the next operation, which is delete. So let me call any region B. This is my like this. That's my delete operation. Right? So here we have to select which one to do. This time, let's take sport to delete, right? Sport object to delete over here. So let's take a list of sports. List of sports. Let me call this DJ sport here. I'm going to use my DB context. Sports, right? Now this will retrieve the data and I'm going to make it a list. Right? So this is my sport, let's say. So I'm actually not going into much details of, okay, I'm getting all the sports and wherever the roll number is 6, delete that record. Now those specific, ingredients things will actually check out in our link. When we go to link 13, right, LINQ. So we'll actually see more things. We'll be using this again, and we'll see how we can, how best we can do with these operations, right? So here, let me take my DB context. So let's say I want to delete. We have sport one record. We want to delete that. So let's say we have DB context. Let's go in my sports. So initially you have seen add, right? So for removing you have add, right? And you have to remove the option. So let me take sport here of 0, which means I want to delete the only recorded now. Once it is done, let's say DB context of choose. So this will remove a record from your sport. Right? So let's run this. Just call it as line. So you can see grid operation successful. That's why we just kept update as is because that's fine. That will not hit. But inserting again the duplicate key again will hit. That's why I have taken off insert. Now you can see grid operation successful. Now let's see the sport. You can see the sport got deleted, and let's get back to academics. It's there. Get back to student. It is there. Now let's do one thing. Let's delete the student last record and see what happens to record in academics and what happens to anyway. Sport we don't have any records. Let's see what happens when you delete the operation. from relation. So now here, let me take, so in our sport, right, so we already have students table here, right? And in students, I want to take the last record, which means the length of this, student minus 1 will give me the last record, right? Because the list starts from 0 to the maximum, right? So here, we will actually get that here. So let me take student object, which means let me just go to db context dot students dot remove of. Now I have objs to. Oh, now here I have to get the index, right? Now which one? See, if you want to give statically, now you can see there are 6 rows, let's say, right? Now I can give this starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can actually give 5 over here, or you can actually take this 2 again, student dot, you have length or count, right? You have count collection minus 1. Now this is also, which means always what will be the count of my collection here? It will be 6, right? But I want to get the last index, which means 6 minus 1 will give me 5. That's the reason why I want to do this. Now this will remove the last record in my students table. And let's do the save changes at a time. Now anyways, you don't have data in this, right? So let's remove that. And now let's do this changes. Okay. Now initially you can see you have data here in your student table and also in your academics table for roll number 6. Let's run this. Now you can see delete operation successful. Now let's get back to the students table. Run this. Now you can see 6 roll number by or deleted. Come back to academics here. Now run this. Now you can see even that relational item button. So this is how it gets. Now here, I hope you have noticed it. Whenever we have whenever we deleted something on sport, right? So nothing will be affected in our parent. Where my foreign key reference is my students table here, and the child source is my sport. So when I delete some sport, it doesn't matter. For some student, I'm deleting sport. It doesn't mean that if I delete sport, it will come to students table and delete record. No, that will not happen. But vice versa will happen. If you're deleting any student, right, which means it should delete all the records from all the relational tables which it has got from students. So that is something which you take care of, right? So that is our DML delete operation which we have here, right? Which will delete data relation. As it keeps data in continuously, right? We can actually delete that. Right? So this is how we can use our entity models, right, for different operations like insert, delete, select, and all. Right? So maximum possible operations which we can do in entity for actually get the data and so, right? Now, so any questions till now, guys? Right? Select. Now we can see this is a simple link which I have created. Simple link statement which I have created, right? Now you can see here. Now while querying your select data, right? It will actually give us everything. Am I right? I mean, it will get, if there are 100,000 students, it will get everything from our table. Now let's say after retrieving that, you are looking for specific students whose sport is FIFA, right? Or sport or academics, let's say, and you have here and like you want details. You want the details of a student, right, whose sport is so and so, and marks, let's say, is equal to or let's say greater than 90. That you want all the students to have got so and so. Now, this is a very basic link statement which we have. Right? Now, where you can see as if I'm writing a query based on my daughter, which is completely something which goes, using. So we will actually see all these concepts in our link concepts, right? Where you can actually directly, query even your list over here. Now, where you can see we have an option called select, right? So where I can do something for implications. Now, no, I don't want to confuse over here. We'll see this part, right? So all these things are conditions, right? Everything will actually check these out in our. Now, we can't say link is a part of entity framework. No, we can use link in entity for do some, all the operations what we want. Link we can actually use even exclusively for collections. In collections also, right? We can actually use link to do some operation. It is not a part of framework. No, it is part of .NET actually, like.
Oh,
Right? It's not it's a part of system. Not,
okay. So I mean, we use those concepts in entity framework, right?
yes.
Okay.
Okay. In combination with link, entity frameworks become, will actually give you more flexibility. That's what.
Okay. Okay.